Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning market report, guys. We got some green, some red on the charts right now. It is opening to the downside. It looks like on the markets. And take a look over here. We'll see what it's saying here. Yeah, the Dow, S&P, Nasdaq, all dropping to the downside. The 10-year yield back on another rally again, right there above my head. It is now at 4.487. And then looking again at those crypto bubbles, guys, we do have, some things are some things are dumping, some things are pumping. But look right there behind me. Oh, yeah, that's XRP on a run right now. We are seeing some weakness coming in on the Ethereum chart right now, guys. Watching that one. Let me go down to that Ethereum chart. See there. There we go. You guys can see we're doing a little pullback here. We had a nice rejection right there off of our dynamic reactor. It's coming into this key support level right here, though, that has held beautifully. I've showed you guys this many times. This is my diagonal trend line that goes way, way back. We did get a nice bounce on that. We'll see if it holds here. Guys, we're going to be looking at these charts, looking at these markets, and then also the big question is retail back? We got an article. We're going to break that down and take a look at that, all that and a whole lot more, plus some economic data sprinkled in there. A little sprinkle of economic data here today, guys, on the morning market report. Let's get it. Classes in session. All right, guys, let's go ahead and just jump over here. I got my team in the house with me. That's why we started late today. Why? Because I had TradeFly in the house, and if I have TradeFly, we got to start late. It's just part of the endemic of his presence. I'm just joking, man. What's up, TradeFly? How you doing, dog?
Yeah, it's part of the shtick, I guess. Little late bloomer, but hey, it is what it is. We are here. It is good to be here. You guys know I love being on the morning show. Always here to support the #2 show. I got to bring it back up to #1 here. So my presence is required. But with that being said, you know what I love to do.
I pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
That's right. That's right. You need to work on it. But actually, hey, for the record, you did get more views than me yesterday. So job well done to the morning show. You guys are back in the fight. All right.
Look, we're just 2 units on the battlefield, both closing in on the enemy, working together. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you get more schmills. We'll use that word, rhymes with schmills, on the battlefield than I do. It's about the total body count at the end. So we're doing good. We're doing good. It's okay.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, no, it's a great thing. I mean, all in all, like we go back to the metrics, like views have gone up in general. So thank you to you guys in the chat, because you were the ones that make that happen. So we really do appreciate it. That being said, let's give some shout outs here in the chat, shall we? Ninja Glock, he's in the house. He's talking about Tyson or Paul. I'm going to be honest. I kind of want Tyson to win, but I really think he's not. He's getting a little bit old. I know he's still a beast,
have a poll.
But,
we have a poll posted in the chat there. Yeah, so we'll go over that here in a little while. We'll let everybody answer that poll.
I just think youth is going to win that one, unfortunately. However, I would love to see Paul get knocked out, man. It would make my day. Kyle Fields, what's up, dude? Yo, how you doing? Eric Wallen is in the chat. What's up, my friend? Alexander G, the best mod in the house. You know it, my SoCal lady. How you doing this morning? Harp's in the house. Hey, I gotta say, congratulations to you, man. The Eagles whooped up on the Commanders yesterday. It got ugly quick. Saquon Barkley is a beast. He went off last night. So congrats to you, man. See ya. I guess I'll see you in the playoffs. All right. Username. He's in here. Of course, he's giving me a hard time. Nothing new there. Crypto Chef's in the house. What's up, brother? How are you? Thanks for stopping by, my friend. And scrolling down here. Of course, OC's in the house. He's right next to me also. Crypto Farmer 24 is in here throwing some emojis. Blackie Chan's in the house. What's up, brother? How are you? Crypto Billy. What's up, brother? Arsan 246, and there goes the chat. It just moves on me all the time. I feel like every time I'm like going down through the names. Crypto Trades is on here. What's up, dude? And Retro Mike Tech making the morning show great again. You know it, brother. Maybe we'll have to make a hat. I might do that. That'd be funny. Who else we got in here? Green Day Profits, my dude. What's up, man? He's in the fantasy football league with me and Billy. What's up? What's up? And Trent Black with a GM. There we go. Let's go. Let's get it. I'm ready.
So I just got to point out here, what is Crypto Billy talking about banter for? Is banter ain't in here? I don't know, Billy. What are you talking about in there?
No, he's probably talking about me and LBC yesterday.
Oh, okay.
We were it was yesterday or the day before. We were going at it, man. Probably for a good like 10 minutes, just going back and forth in the chat. I was just schooling that Sunday boy, talking all kinds of smack to him. I almost felt a little bit bad. I had to tell him I love him afterwards, but hey, it's all part of the game,
It
baby.
happens. It happens. It happens. I don't know if you guys saw or not, but we now have chapters on the morning market report. Chapters are being done. Shout out to Alexandra G, the best mod in the business. She's doing chapters for the morning market report. Not sure if you noticed a little bit of extra quality that you get on the morning show. Yeah. Yes, much love to Alexandra G. We appreciate it. Let's go ahead and jump into the news. I want to get that in. And then I want to get into these charts. But OC, how are you doing today? What are you seeing on the charts that are scaring you? What's your focus today, and how are you approaching this nasty market setup right now?
Oh man, I see a sweep of the lows. Nothing that really scares me that much. I'm just gonna be saying that maybe I don't know. Bitcoin should just be having slightly bit weird. Nonetheless, yesterday we were looking at the charts and on the Kuma Sumla class, right? On Piper Academy and Discord, and I explained when it's gonna be my next entry, and we're getting that set up. But I'm gonna just reserve it for when we look at Bitcoin price action. Other than that, doing fantastic. Today I wasn't as early as before, but I mean, still pretty doing good.
Awesome. Let's jump into the news, guys, and let's talk about that. Let's get into the charts. We got a lot to break down today, guys, and we got to look at that article. Is retail coming back? So looking at the economic data and news today, guys, let me spread this in. There we go. We're perfect. All right. We do have about a 3.0 trillion. So we're just a little over $3 trillion in the market cap right now. You can see that it's down 1.68%. Volume is dropping also over the past 24 hours. Looking at the crypto bubbles, got to see it pushing over there. Let's refresh it. There we go. ADA is up 16.5 on the daily. XRP up 21.1. GOAT is up 16.8. Shout out to the GOAT. We do have XLM up here. Litecoin's up 4.2%. Litecoin been on some crazy stuff on X lately. I don't know if you noticed that. They said due to those current market conditions, we now identify as a meme coin. And yeah, people are just having fun with it over there. HBAR's up 13.2%. Algo up 11.4. Those are big movers here today. Looking here at Bitcoin, it's sitting at $88,762. Down 2.3% on the daily, continuing to pull back in the past hour. We got Ethereum just holding $3,000, guys, and this is a key level that I think we need to watch. I'm going to be looking at the chart here in just a minute and going over that. But yeah, it's got to hold this $3,000 range, in my opinion. 3.6% down on the daily there for Ethereum. Solana's down 2.1. BNB down 3.5. Dogecoin taking an 11.3% drop there, while XRP is sitting at 87, almost 88 cents, guys. XRP is back alive and well, up 20.5% there. Cardano up 16%. Another one of those tokens, people, it's dead. Guys, I will tell you, things may not always move together. They may not always pump together, but I don't know that anything in the top 100 truly is ever dead. They just don't give you the returns that you typically would get on other things. We had this for months with Cardano, XRPs. I'm sure there's other ones, Avalanche, where they just were not giving you any gains at all in comparison to what was actually moving and working. And now it is their time to shine, right? It rotates around. So Cardano and XRP proving all of the sellers wrong. Should have kept some of my ADA. There you go. So Avalanche down 1.4%, sitting at 31.93. SWI up 1.7. It's doing decent today. Chainlink up 0.3% there, sitting at $13.38. Any other big movers here? Let's just take a look. Stellar Lumens, guys. Stellar Lumens up 10.8%. That is likely because of the same track of movement that XRP is on. They're both those the 20022 tokens. You guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, they are both moving there to the upside. Caspa up 3.3% at 13 cents. We might look at that today too. Let's jump into the economic calendar, talk about what happened here, see what had happened was. We had retail sales come in. Now, I want to point out that they revised. You see the R right there. There's a revision, right? Right there, little R. They revised our previous retail sales to the upside, okay, because it was at 0.4, I believe, yesterday. Now it's 0.8. But our consensus and forecast for this report was going to be 0.3. It actually came in at 0.4. So it beat the consensus and forecast. But because they revised our retail sales for the previous reporting period up to the upside, ISO 20022. Thank you, Lunar Beaches. LBC in the house, dropping that knowledge. Because of that up revision, the 0.4% was about a half drop from what it previously was. So it looked pretty down, but not down as far as what the forecast was. And so had this been the same, this would have been came in neutral with no loss because they revised it. It came in with a little bit of sell-off. Export prices here, guys, they were expecting that export prices would be down 0.1%. They did a revision here on the price again. Oh, go figure, revisions. And then it came in at 0.8, better than expected on the export prices. Import prices, same thing. Did not get a revision, but much higher than what they were on consensus and forecast. But the interesting one here, guys, is this New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. This was expected to be negative 0.7 to negative 5 after an 11.9. That would have been horrible. That means that manufacturing is continuing to drop, which is an economic indicator of recessionary evidence, right? The New York State Empire State Manufacturing Index climbed to 31.2 in November 2024, up from the negative 11.9 in October, and surprising analysts who expected it to be also in the negative. It was the best reading since December of 2021 as the new orders index climbed 38 points to 28 and the shipment index rose 35 points. We talked about this a little bit where I said, look, these retail sales, I think we're going to get a big revision on these numbers. I talked about that because of Black Friday, because of holiday shopping, because of all these things that people may have been looking for those deals in October off of like Amazon Prime and stuff like that, Amazon Prime days, where people were looking for those cheap little front sales because a lot of companies were putting out sales before for October trying to boost retail business, right? And so I thought that we might see that off of the holiday shopping. We are seeing it now, and I do believe that next month we're going to get an even bigger revision to the upside looking at this data. That's about it here. We did have industrial production came in as expected. Nothing upsetting there. Retail sales, excluding automobiles, they expected it to be 0.3, 0.4. It came in at 0.1, so a little bit below the revision that they had there of 1%. But the big one, guys, New York Empire State Manufacturing Index, giving a little hopium to a soft, we'll call it a no landing, right? I think that is the case that we might see, but is showing that there is some good data coming in for the we are not heading to a recession, people. So looking here, guys, at what we got going on with the CME group. Let's see what this level is now, because this might have changed this morning. Yeah, it did. So this is the December FOMC. Are we going to have a rate cut or not? That's the big topic going around right now. We are looking right now at a 41.3% chance of no change. That means no rate cut, no rate hike. It's just going to stay right where it's at. We're going to pause. 58.7% chance that we see a 25 basis point rate cut there. Again, we are still in the red on the S&P there, the Dow Jones and NASDAQ oil, and that 10-year continuing to go up. It's at 4.49 now. Guys, this is not a good look for markets, just so you know. We don't want to see that. We want that to pull back down. What do we have in here? We got Fear and Greed is sitting at 80 right now. Should have went over that first, I guess. Extreme Greed is what we're sitting at. It was 88 yesterday. Did you guys see this? Donald Trump suing multiple media outlets seeking $10 billion in damages. The suit names the New York Times, CBS, and other media outlets alleging defamation and political bias. It also accuses those outlets of partisan accuses the outlets of partisan and unlawful acts of voter interference through malicious, deceptive, and substantial news distortion. CBS said that it is completely without merit. I kind of tend to agree with Trump here. I think that there is an extreme bias on positive versus negative data that's put out for Dems versus Republicans. So, news is supposed to be fair and balanced, and that's the furthest thing in the mainstream media from where we are now. So, you guys heard this last night on the #1 show on Piper Academy, the Crypto Nightcap. They talked about Gary Gensler might be leaving the SEC soon. I don't doubt that at all, but this did come in, ironically enough, after 18 U.S. states sued the SEC, alleging unconstitutional overreach and unfair persecution. Another reason why we might be seeing, as they were saying there in the chat, that we might be seeing those U.S. Utility tokens pumping. And then, guys, I got to tell you, Warren Buffett, he's back to buying. He's not sitting on as much cash as what he was. In Q3 2024, the portfolio update, he made 2 big buys and then sold some more existing positions. So there we go. That is what we have there today. We're going to look at this article here in just a little bit. Bitcoin retail. Is Bitcoin retail finally back? The metrics point to an explosion in interest. We'll talk about that here in a bit. So let's come over here and let's talk about this for a second before we get into the first chart. And that is about this... that is about this whole thing with the economic data with holiday sales that are coming up and then the recession stuff. Do you think that with what we're seeing on deregulation side, what we're seeing on these revisions to the upside, right? Not to the downside, to the upside, we're starting to see some decent revisions here on economic data for retail sales. Do you think we're on path for this to be a soft landing or a no landing as of right now? And then I do want to preface that we are going to tie this to the comment that was made last night by Wick, where he said, look, we're at the point right now that we've already put everything on the stove. We can't turn it off, right? And so the Federal Reserve cannot backpedal at all, because if they do a backpedal, if they do a reversal and start running back into the woods, it's going to cause massive market chaos. Is there any correlation here? How are things looking right now? Because we're seeing decent numbers, but we also are seeing, oh man, maybe we shouldn't have cut rates as much as we did. There is some inflationary return. Where are we at right now, pulse-wise, TradeFly, in the economy, and what's your sentiment on it?
It's mixed, man, and that's probably a good thing, right? And if I'm mixed, that means that maybe we are trending towards that soft landing. Because think about this. We have been talking about this subject for probably 7-8 months at this point, right? And we have not had that bottom fall out where something just crashes and everything goes to hell. So what does that mean? It means you're kind of in the midst of what I perceive as a soft landing. That being said, the data is kind of a bad setup right now. And I went over this yesterday on the show because inflationary metrics are coming back and the job numbers are poor as well, right? So they have to make a decision one way or another. And really, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. So you're kind of caught. Like, what are you going to try to fix? One thing is probably going to suffer once they make that decision. So if they continue to raise the interest rates while these metrics are negative, it could cause further issues. So they're not in a great situation in terms of the Fed right now. Could we go to recession? Yeah, man. I mean, we could. Does that mean like all hell is breaking loose because we're in a recession? No, because technically speaking, we have already seen a recession during the midst of all this in the last year, right? GDP numbers were down, and traditionally that was the metric. The problem is too, not only did they have inflated GDP numbers based on them with the government spending and government jobs and all that, like, they actually changed the definition of what a recession was as well. So like, there's all kinds of stuff going on right now, but when it really comes down to it, like, what we are, experiencing right now in the markets as traders, as, people are here that are learning about trading, like, hey, the markets have been flourishing and there's no denying that. So the only thing that I'm going to say is people that are in government jobs, watch the F out, because I think
Facts.
Elon
Facts.
Vitalik are going to come in and just wreck shop. And like, they have a plan to have that done by 2026. They're like, we have a plan and we are going to go execute. And you have seen what Elon does. Elon walks in with his sink and's like, all right, you, bye. All right, I'm just chopping this off and we're going to make this place more efficient. And you know, I think that's going to cut down government spending, right? That'll cut down government spending inherently.
It
and
will,
what will that do?
It
That
has
will reduce
another
the
effect
GDP also.
But it has another effect. Our labor market force strength has been held up by federal government jobs. When they start pulling those numbers out, when they pull that drain and those numbers start to fall out of the total tally, I think it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be really bad. For job numbers, because the one thing that we haven't seen in a recession, right? If we've been in a recession, the one thing that we haven't seen, which is they go hand in hand. It is symptomatic. There's causation and correlation relationship going on there, is collapse of job numbers. We haven't seen that, which is the one thing that makes people go, no, there has not been a recession, because this is the cause of a recession, but the evidence of a recession is this, and we haven't seen the evidence of weakening labor market. And I do believe that that is because of all of the federal job numbers that they have pumped into the system to keep it afloat. When those start to pull out, now we have everything to go along with it. And so that's going to be bad. But I will point this out. I'm going to point this out before we get into the Bitcoin chart, is that this one thing. The United States, its system is designed to have recessions on a periodic basis. It's the big reset. It keeps things back in line. They collapse, they fall where they're supposed to be, and then it drives on. That's how their debt-based system resets, so that it doesn't go off the rails on either side, right? Sometimes they hit that economic brakes and it just, everything's, back to normal, right? And then they take off again. We haven't had one. This is the longest running period of no recession in the United States in its history. So keep that in mind.
But they changed the definition. So like it's
true.
I understand that. If you change that definition and go back in time, then we're talking about something different.
Yeah,
so
well,
because we did.
Even the evidence of loss of jobs and market collapse, that being a recession, right? Inflation does not equate to recession, just so you know. You don't always have to have a recession that accompanies inflation, but you do have to have weakening. Yes, correct. You do have to have weakening labor to go along with the recession. That is a recessionary effect, right? And we haven't really seen that yet. So I do think that's why I'm still saying quarter 1, I do think we will see the evidence of recessionary events. It's like I've been saying, it's going to happen slowly and then all at once. And then everyone's going to go overnight like, oh my God, what happened? This company's laying off. This company's laying off. This company's laying off. It's going to be interesting to see if we do get that big reset button. So right now, though, I'm riding the wave and making the money. That's what I'm doing right now until I start to see that. That's right.
Riding the waves. Riding the waves. I love that name sometimes, man.
I do too. Did you see
where
like
it fits the markets?
Did you see in here where Billy said he's going to run a poll on his Sunday show for Billy Goat, the Billy Goat Tells Sunday show that they do? They're going to be asking the question in a poll of which is the #1 show for Piper Academy. And then Lunar Beach has said, wait and do that until after Markets After Dark comes out. And then Retro Mike Tech said his 589 bots are ready to go. And BC Port Corp said, is that for the morning show? And then, of course, they come in and they said, I can't believe Piper fired LBC. That is not a true statement, sir.
Hey, you'll get this. You'll get this. But LBC, you're going to be mad, bro. You're going to be mad.
Gonna be mad. Yeah. Don't break even. Get mad. There you go. So, let's jump into this Bitcoin chart and talk about that. Get that heat map ready. Let's start doing some TA, guys. Let's go.
What's up, baby?
All right. It's the Bitcoin, baby. I saw a funny thing earlier on X. It was this girl talking about how to avoid crypto bros from talking to you about Bitcoin. And she said to him, like he started to say something. She said, stop. And then like he paused, and she goes, just tell him, oh my God, did you hear that Bitcoin just dropped to $20,000? He will probably immediately disengage this conversation and run to his phone to check. So it was pretty good. I was laughing at it. Oh my God, did you hear Bitcoin just dropped to $20,000? I love it. So here we go, guys. Looking at Bitcoin here on the 1 hour. Let's go to the daily first. Let's do a little top down. Daily, we're still flagging out here. Things are looking pretty healthy here. We do have a downside move here while we're maintaining this $87,000 price range, giving all of this an opportunity to cool off right now. So if we can hold in this range of about $86,000, I think that we are looking pretty good here on Bitcoin right now. As far as cooling off the oscillators, the RSIs, and all that stuff. If we look at the 12-hour and we start to bring this down, you can see there's more evidence. Nice little flag out there, keeping steady, right? It's not a huge, massive crash that we're seeing here. But when we get into the 4-hour, you can tell here, all right, look, we do have a level up here. This is a nice liquidity zone right here at the all-time high. We did fall. Money flow is static, but look at the volume. 4-hour says we're doing better than maintaining and sustaining. Here's what we have. We have this one rejection point right above us that we're probably going to go back and retest. But I want to show you guys what's happening here on the 4-hour while we have just gone sideways. We have down here, the volume is starting to come back up. So that's a good thing. We have the money flow with another little curvature here on it, not really pointing downward. It's almost an upward trend right there on that. We're back in a transition on the ribbon, which means we should start heading up as we get lower, okay? The true 7 is sitting here with an uptick. Everything on this indicator right now, even the VWAP that was overbought here, has not really sent price down. If price does come down, guys, I'm watching for about $79,000 to $80,000. Keep that in mind. We're talking about a $79,000 to $80,000. Where were we at a week ago? We were talking about 71,000. Now we're talking about a pullback side being 71, 79,000, right? 80,000 maybe. Things are looking pretty good here on Bitcoin. I do want to show you why I got into a long yesterday. I got into a long last night on Bitcoin and on Ethereum. I did the Ethereum just based on Bitcoin's chart because I said this might be a good area to pick up. And then I guess I did have a level on Ethereum, but it was because of Bitcoin, what I was seeing here. Check this out, guys. On Bitcoin, on the 1 hour, this is the level I talked about yesterday on the show. I said, guys, watch the 3D trend. We're coming down into that 3D trend should hold. We do have a nice bullish liquidity zone down here. And if we hold that and don't come into the sell-off area, see how there's more bears than bulls in this liquidity area. It's why it's red. If we hold this area, then we should have a continuation back to the upside. That's what happened. Literally, right there. Literally, for Marky Mark and a Funky Dutch, came down to the bottom of that liquidity grab, hit the bearish zone, and then up it shot back to the upside here, hitting about 90,600 before it pulled back a little bit. I'm just watching this level here. As long as this 3D trend is continuing an upward trend, I'm still feeling pretty good about Bitcoin. But let's drop it over. Let's take a look at TradeFly's chart because I want to see what he's seeing on the heat map. And then we'll come back and we'll take a look at Ethereum and start getting into some alts. TradeFly, what you got for us, bro?
Right on, right on. So we talked about this a little bit yesterday, and one of the things that you have to pay attention to on the liquidation heat map is how there was leverage coming in as price was going up. Now, understand when you're going back in history on the heat map, these areas, they update, right? They become lighter or darker based on where leverage is building on the map. So understand that this area or these areas back here were actually a lot hotter, all right? So they looked a lot more like this. So the hotter spots on the map were to the top side of price action. So when you were getting up here, you were seeing hot spots around here. And I was like, I wanted to take a short based on my channel. And we'll look at that here in a second. But the problem is the liquidity was looking like, or the hot spots, yeah, the liquidity was looking like that on the map, right? It was to the top side. And it's like, darn it, like I can't take the short because I'm thinking that it's going to go grab that liquidity. The price action is too close. That was a concern for me. Surely it did go up and grab that liquidity. And now what are we starting to see? Like if you're looking at the highs and you're looking at the lows, what are you seeing, right? It's starting to trend down. And the map yesterday was actually a lot cooler to the top side. So that leverage didn't come in as quickly. As we were watching this trend, the price is going up and up and up, and liquidity was flowing in and flowing in and flowing in. Each time people were taking leverage shorts and they were putting their stop losses up over that pivot, that perceived pivot point, because it wasn't actually a pivot point yet. They're just hoping that, you know, they were catching the top. And so I was talking about that quite a bit. And I was like, hey, like, you guys are gluttons for punishment. Not you in the chat, but, you know, the people, you know, that are doing this is they're trying to catch the top and they're just going leverage short, leverage short, leverage short all the way up. And now what you started to see is a cool off. All right. So yesterday, when you're looking at this, you got that hit, right? Or that pivot, and you noticed that the leverage didn't really come in like it did before, which let me know there could be a small opportunity for a little bit of a cool off. Now, I'm not saying you're going to have a big pullback, and you actually did pull back just a little bit here. And you know, you're now seeing a series on a shorter time frame. If you look at like the hourly, you're seeing a series of lower highs and lower lows. All right. Now, how do we correlate this to the heat map? Because we're now seeing a little bit of a trend that goes in a different direction.
TradeFly.
Where's the liquidity? The liquidity's to the bottom side. So now you have price action going down and you have liquidity to the downside. Where is the price more likely to go? I would be willing to bet that it would probably want to chase this liquidity down here as price action moves down, which if you think about it inversely. Like, why would there be leverage long positions as the trend of price is going down? You know, it doesn't register for me. And that's one reason I love looking at this liquidation heat map again every single day. Now, looking at the chart.
TradeFly real fast. On that heat map, can you pull up the 48-hour and tell me what you're seeing on that one, though? Because I am looking at two levels above, and there's two levels above us right now on the heat map, and then one below us.
This is the closest you're going to get to 48-hour. 3 day and 1 day are your two options. So
okay, here I'll pull it up on mine. I'm looking at the 48-hour. I real fast. I just want to show this. We have a heat map down here with a little bit of liquidity in it. There's about $50 million down there, sitting at about 86.5. But we have two up top. Like, there's one sitting here at 93,600. It's got about 30 million. That's over half of what we're seeing below us. And we have a huge one here with about $100 million that's sitting between 91,000 to 92,000. So on the 48-hour, if you're looking at the weekend, this could tell us a little bit about the weekend story. I just wanted to point that out real fast.
You're on Binance specifically. So that's just for that exchange. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But that's why I use that, because it's one of the largest out there being used. So, I thought I was on Binance. No, I'm Bitcoin, man. Yeah. Binance Exchange. Yes. I use that because it's given us the biggest generalization of the exchange of how much is traded on it. So, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out real fast, and then we'll come back over to your chart. But on the 48-hour, I do see some big volatility possibilities this weekend between 86 to 91,000. So.
86 to 91. So, all right. Yeah. Looking at that makes sense, right? There's what I just say, there's liquidity sitting around 86,000, right? 86. Yeah. Right around 86,000 is where there's liquidity on the 3 day as well. So then you come over to the chart, knowing that, right? We're armed with that information now. Where's 86,000 right about here, just under the 0.236, where you can see it's acting as support. So a couple of things to look at here. One, the channel. We've talked about that for months upon months. I'm not going to beat it up, but you have not had a daily close to the top side of this channel yet. Not yet. All right. You are getting a squeeze, though. You're getting a squeeze between the 0.236 and the channel. So the 0.236 is currently sitting at about 87,200. All right. And then the channel is currently sitting, remember, this channel is going up and right. That is currently sitting, we'll say, at about 90,500. Okay. So nice round numbers for you there. And you're getting a little bit of a squeeze. So where are we going to get the breakout? Well, understand where price action entered, right? It came from the downside, and we're actually forming a little bit of a pennant. This is even on the daily, so it's probably going to be more pronounced on the 4 hour. That measured move would put you over 100K. if you believe that's where we're going, then things are looking good, right? Price will not go up exponentially without a cool off. It's got to happen. Like you can see it over and over again. We're in an uptrend, like price going up, little cool off. Price goes up, little cool off. Price goes up, big time, a little bit of a cool off here, consolidation. Like that's normal, right? That's Lunar Beach's waves, right? That's what we talk about here. Riding the wave on the way up. So you're getting a squeeze here. You're in a zone where I'm not going to trade the middle of it. Like, but this is like an intraday, scalper's paradise because we're kind of bouncing back and forth here. No close over this, no close underneath of this. So you're kind of playing it back and forth. Sometimes you can hit on this 5-6 times just based on this squeeze that happens on the shorter time frames between this area. So now armed with the information of liquidity, and we're saying that's at 86K. Well, that would break this area here at the 0.236, but it will not go underneath of this wick right here. So you could have a little intermediate level of horizontal support only based on the selling or the buying pressure right here. You see this wick? That's a strong wick on the daily. All right. So that means that there's willing buyers here in the area of about 85K. All right. That's a good indication. So we could break down and find a little bit of horizontal support. That is definitely potential there. But of course, what are we going to do? We love the fibs. We love the levels on the fibs. I think that, the 0.382 makes a lot of sense. Well, why does that make sense? Well, we're going to have to go to lower time frames to look at it because understand that the data we have right now is not going to correlate to anything historically back left on the charts. We're in price discovery. All we can do is take the data that we're being presented here in the last week or so to try to formulate, some kind of levels of where we could go. Now, look at this. Look at how when you actually go to a lower time frame, you're now seeing look at the 0.236 and how that's playing out. Now, this is something I talked about yesterday as well. This channel up and right. And what did I say last night? If you were watching, I was like, hey, it's about to print a pattern break. Like that's about to go down because we were right on the bottom side retesting. I was like, hey, we're even doing the retest. All right. So it looks like the smart target number 1 has already been hit. It is now printing a smart target number 2. So that's giving us more data. We got the retest. All right, this is where I prefer to enter on these pattern breakouts. I don't like to enter here. I like to enter when we get the OC retest. Plus, we have a horizontal level of resistance. We now have confluence on a potential, little short opportunity there. And that actually presented itself this morning. I'm a little slow to the game, right? I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, damn it. Like that was it. That was a good short opportunity right there at 90,500 with the OC retest. And if you go to the smaller time frame on the hourly, you're going to see a different story than what this oscillator is telling you right now. You can't always just take the 4 hour and say, hey, this is what price action is doing. It did have an opportunity to reset here on the oscillator, but if you go down if you go to the daily, it's telling you a whole different story, right? So this all being said, liquidity sitting at, we said 86K. Smart target sitting here at 84. 0.382 is sitting at 83,258. All right. So this is what I would look at. I think the odds are, and this is me just speculation, seeing where there's buying pressure here. I always like to beat these smart targets. And, I've said that before. The smart targets are great and they play out a lot. But if I could find a level of horizontal support, then I'm more likely to play that. So the retest into some downward movement and clearing out the liquidity puts us at about 85K. I think that's a nice little move right there for like a scalp intraday. That's a 3.87% move. A little bit of leverage, a little 3x, little 5x, nice little play down to here, get a bounce, and we could see some continuation. But the one of the things I talked about too is this channel going up and right. That's actually a little bit bearish and more likely to break to the downside. We talked about that yesterday. So let me real quickly, because I did talk about the 1 hour here. I saw something on the 1 hour. This is what it was. It was this falling channel here, a wedge. So look at here. I mean, it's just up, down, and you can see it's playing out really, really nicely. Again, confluence here at 90,500 in that area. So there was 2 hits of confluence on 2 different time frames, which was signaling to me that there was going to be a little bit of rejection in this area here that did play out. All right, so those are kind of the key levels I'm looking at. And then again, we can tie this all in. Check it out. On the hourly, as we're working our way down, right, we're going through the process here of like, how can we look for some of these setups? Now you're getting some confluence down here at about 85K. You got the dynamic reactor. You got the bottom part of this, right? So for me, if price does come down here, sweet. I'm all in on that. Now I'm saying, hey, like we could have a bounce because we have confluence in this area. And there's a lot of things lining up showing you that that might actually be a potential long entry. So here was your potential short. Here's your potential long. This is why I'm big on letting price action come to you. I don't like taking a play when it's in the middle. That being said, let me talk about when we did take a play in the middle, because we have a new segment on the nightcap. It's called the Daily Degen, right? We just quickly look at a 5-minute chart and we're like, all right, based on what we're seeing here on the chart, we identified a couple key levels. We were like, hey, like, are we going to go down or are we going to go up here? I think we were pretty mixed yesterday, but we lost in the first one, about 10% or something like that. The day before, everybody was bullish AF. They're like, long, 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 long. I was like, cool, let's do it. And then yesterday we looked at it a little bit more analytically and we're like, hey, I think we might have a short opportunity. There you go, man. 50%. 50%. You guys crushed it last night. Again, that is a new segment we're doing on the Crypto Nightcap. Just having a little bit of fun, not getting too crazy with it, but you know, it's I think it's a good little segment we're doing there. So that's what I'm looking at. Bitcoin. Love you guys. On to the next.
OC, what are you seeing on Bitcoin? And then let's come start back on alts. I got Ethereum up next, but what are you seeing on Bitcoin right now? How you feeling about the weekend? And shout out to Alex O Crypto in the house. Shout out to Marky Mark and the Funky Dutch. He said, when is the collab with Cohen's? I've got to get that going, but I'm really trying to get Cohen's to do his show with Lunar Beaches, because he's going to be on that late night, and that should line up pretty well with Cohen's. If you guys don't know who he is, Cohen's Trading, he is an Elliott Wave master. So we're trying to get him to come and give his pulse on the market. But OC, what's your pulse on the market? What do you got for us, bro?
Absolutely, it's going up. There we go. That's it. Just kidding. But I just want to say that TradeFly, man, you just got one of the most amazing step-by-step analysis. I loved it. I enjoyed it. And that is because I also wanted to kind of go over it. I'm not going to be repeating it because you went, step-by-step on it. I think it was pretty clear. So I'm just going to touch on two basic things, right? The first one, it is acknowledging the range that we were talking about, right? So basically drawing another trend line here. And that's what I'm going to be talking about right now. Yesterday on the Piper Academy, on the Summa Cum Laude class, we're talking about how to set up your support and resistances, right? And throughout that class, I mentioned that this is going to be my entry play. There was two possibilities. Number 8, that's the one I'm going to be drawing. I'm going to leave it for tomorrow to see the results, right? So we were talking about when to enter, right as we talked about trend lines and support and resistances. So plan number 8 was sweep of the lows, right, to the entry area of some support areas. And then as we break throughout the zero line, right, so this was going to be plan A. And plan B, as we break through the zero line, I also wanted to be breaking through that dynamic reactor, right? And then it comes like, it's not about the breakout. You know what is it about, right, guys? It's about the retest. So far, am I right now for an entry? I would be saying, yes, this is a classic handbook entry. But what if I update my trend line here? Let's do it very quickly, right? Just so we can look at it, maybe another perspective. Look at that. It fits way better, right? Not only way better, it's almost perfect. And then if I just clone this one, so right click it, clone it, and then just scoop it down back down here, well then look at that. It almost also pairs fantastically. Look at that. Even I can wedge it between this high and this low, right? It makes sense for it to go lower. So something else that I want to add to it, just to wrap things up, is that Piper yesterday was talking about the regression tool. So let's use it just so we can remember a couple of things. Look at that perfect match, right? And the important part of this, it is the center line in here. Look at where we're having that confluence, all right? Right at the center line. Not only the center line, we also have a series of higher lows, right? And we have the dynamic reactor coming in strong. So is this an entry? Yes, it is an entry. But we need to be careful, and that is because we are bouncing from the top of this area, right? Something that adds important for me, it is the dynamic reactor. But let's add something else that I like to incorporate here on what we got. It's going to be two things: order blocks and also liquidations. All right, on 30 minutes. Remember, at this point, I'm talking about the 30 minutes, so we have kind of like an instant or more faster reaction. Let's just wait for it to load. And let me ask you a question, guys. Why would it be faster or easier to get liquidations or liquidate guys at a 2.31% distance, or liquidate guys at a 4.31% distance? I mean, the easier way to go, it's downwards, right? Then why did I mention that we're going up? Because my strategy is telling me that we have not yet broken this up-ranging trend line. So for me, naturally, we are on a bullish scenario. So what is going to be my entry point? FOR. If you don't know what FOR is, please write it down on the chat, and the community will let you know what FOR stands for. And well, then that's your answer. So FOR at support, and if not, well, then you got it right here. Back at the support area, plan number one, sweeping lows, and then also at the bottom of the range, and then ready to shoot back up. I think that this trend might take maybe a couple of days. Although, if we are able to bounce from here, do expect a big movement, especially since we go to the 1 hour. Remember that I always look for this pattern: little hump, bigger movement with a flag retracement, and then I measure from the previous ranging zone to the hump, and then that's what I'm going to be measuring, and that is going to be ding, ding, ding. Look at that. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, right?
Double kill.
So that's going to be for these upcoming 15 days. Be patient, be careful. Those are the two possible scenarios for a long entry. So wait for that FOR to play it out and guide the way. Other than that, rewind this video and watch once again TradeFly's analysis.
Awesome. Let's jump over to Ethereum. We're trying to get Coons. I guess I was saying it wrong. I don't know if Alex O was Coons or Cohen's. I'm sure I'm messing his name up. He's Dutch. I'm an American. We speak one language, English. That's it. That's all we know. So heard that joke from a French general in NATO. He said, polyglots speak 4 languages or more. Trilingual speak 3 languages. Bilingual speak 2 languages. The people that speak 1 language, they're called Americans. So let's go jump over into the Ethereum chart. Let's take a look at that. Guys, we are right now coming in on this long trend line. I just want to bring this in so you guys can see what this trend line comes from. It's the blue diagonal line running across there, and it goes way back to November 2022, so about 2 years old. You can see all the support that it had in here on it. Was resistance here with several retests. We're retesting it right now as support. Looking at this, we'll go back to the hourly because I've been watching. You know, I'm a 4-hour chart guy, but I got to tell you, with all the volatility that's been taking place lately, I've been watching the 1 hour a lot because we had things on here like this breakout of the chart prime chart patterns here, gave us a smart target down here, and you can see it was in line with this diagonal trend. So that would have been a great entry, but I want to show you what happens when we put this on the buffer, like TradeFly likes to look at. If you go into the settings here and you put this off of wick and you put it on buffer, we actually have a level sitting a little bit below because it's going to measure wicks and bodies of the candles. And if you put it on this is actually calling for us to come a little bit lower, 2,984 dollars down here on that smart target there, and that would be in line with a retest right here on this pattern that we like to watch for, the OC retest there. So if we lose this line, guys, watch for
So look at where it retested there, and no, stay on your chart. Stay on your chart. This is I love this setup. All right, you came, you got the OC retest, and you have a level right there identified, blue line at the bottom, right? That's your level you've identified. So you beat the smart target. That's my play. So you guys know, like when I'm looking at some of these setups, I love the retest. I love finding a horizontal or a trend line that shows you support, and I play from there. So take that move and measure from the retest to the blue line. And what does it give you?
Well, if you measure it off of the top of the dynamic reactor that's in here also, that is about a 3.22% move. If you measure it off of the retest, if you measure it off of the retest of just the trend line here of the chart pattern, then it's about a 2.7%. So either way, still
guys,
a decent move.
That setup right there is fire. Chart Prime is worth its weight in gold. If you use that setup right there, it plays out over and over and over again. I live by it. I'm trying to tell you guys, that right there makes it worth it all by itself.
And then we also have a liquidity zone here that's holding more sell pressure than buy pressure too. So it looks like a lot of people said, if we break this level, I'm selling, and which could cause a cascade of sell off, which I think we might actually see that. I'm watching 29.84. You can see here on the Oscillator Pro, we did flip to a bearish ribbon. It is coming down, and the volume has started to turn red here. True 7 coming down, guys. I do think that we are going to see 29.85. We'll just call it 2900. Might get a small wick down below that. So yeah, textbook sell-off right now going on Ethereum, and it did give all of the setup there for you guys that you could have traded this. So even got a prophecy indication right here saying dump, and now it's going down. Plus 3D trend had a rejection up here. If you really wanted to play this, you could have played the rejection on the 3D trend up here at the top of this pattern and started doing take profit 1 in the buffer zone of the bottom of this, and then once that printed there, let the other half run down to that, and could have made money all the way from up here technically. So Chart Prime for the win. Love it. Love seeing it. So let's go ahead, jump back over. Let's start taking a look at some favorite alts right now. XRP and ADA, stuff like that is moving. So TradeFly, we'll let you start off the quick round robin here. I think we got time for about one round of some alts from you guys. So what are you taking a look at right now for us, TradeFly?
All right, here we go. It's time, baby. The Soul Train. You know we're about to get it. I want you to look at these levels. All right, let's go through this. All right, we're coming back left on the chart. We see some support. We see some resistance in the area of about 217, right? I'd say pretty clear. Look at the selling pressure off of that. Got a wick off of that. Then we came down for the retest. We flipped resistance into support. Look at this. That turned into buying pressure. All right, cool. I got an area that I like right here. Right here, you can see, again, we've talked about this area, and I can circle it for you. We got the retest. So we flipped what was support into resistance. Big breakdown. Ooh, significant price action, significant area of price action, and psychological number, 200. We've talked about this. So now we come to present day. All right. We've identified some levels. Come all the way back right on the chart. Here we go. All right. It's been a long time for Solana. Long time since we've been here. But we talked about this area. This was here. This was here before this price action played out. I want to let you know that. Go back, check receipts. Love you guys a long time. All right. So what I was talking about is like, hey, 200 psychological number. All right. That's typically where, like, if I was in an area or I took a long position down here, 200 probably would have been my out. But then I'm like, all right, we're looking for that next setup. We're looking for the next setup. And how do we do that? Well, we start looking for that OC retest. That's why I draw these. I'm like, hey, if we get on top of this area, we get the OC retest, you could see some price action go up, right? And retest the highs. So now we have this 217 level already identified, and that's from historicals. You go back left on the chart. Now, they're not always perfect. Obviously, this was the high up here at about 225, but this is still a beautiful setup. Once again, what do we see play out? It's what we just talked about, all right? You get this pattern, all right? Really, it was looking for this pattern break right here, which almost played out, but not quite. But the levels still remain the same in terms of the pattern. We just got to break out to the top side. Now, because this had already printed, it didn't print this up here, but we can still see it on the chart, right? We can still use this. It doesn't have to be a pattern break with a green dot. We saw the breakout. We got over a very significant area, 200, right? Psychological number, big move up. That's probably why you got this explosive move, is because people got really bullish once you broke a significant psychological number. Came back down, the OC retest. So here we go. Here we go again. Pattern. We got confluence with what was a very, very important number, and we got a bounce. What's the play? Well, the play is up to this significant level that we've already identified from years past, right? We take that, we bring that into our analysis. We see that there is resistance in this area. It's going to be a bit of a range, but what does that move play out to? This is where it's pretty sweet. All right. So you get the move, we got the retest, and then the move up. Let's measure that from where we get the retest, and we'll take it to the top side. Let's say that we're being conservative and we're taking the top side of the pattern up to the area that we've identified. That's a 6.33% move. This is it. Like, if you're trying to scalp and you're trying to do some intraday, like, these are some of the things that you want to look at here. Now let's go, because again, the daily is not going to tell you the whole story when you're looking at the prime oscillator, right? So you need to go to the lower time frame sometimes to be like, okay, what is that telling me? And I haven't even really looked at that yet. So we're looking at that. So yeah, this is about where we got a reset. All right. So we got the reset. Now I'm going to ignore this, but yeah, there you go. And then if you're looking at this too, it actually from here to here, like, you can still see, like, all right, reset. And I mean, it's trending down a little bit, but it's still actually higher up than here. So I don't know, man. Like, this thing is fire. And if you're taking this symmetrical look, the confluence again on the 4-hour. So it's the bottom part of this pattern and a significant level of support, which we flipped. It was resistance, now support. Again, this is showing you that we had a potential for a move up and right as well. So, I mean, dude, I'm telling you, these patterns on the the Market Dynamics Pro with Chart Prime, they work really, really well. And if you don't want to go through the we'll call it the booty pain of actually finding these patterns on the chart, it does it for you, which is really, really dope. And it makes your life a lot easier, because it's hard to go through each and every asset and put all these patterns on a chart. It takes a lot of the work out of it for you. So there you go, Chart Prime, another shill. I'm on a Chart Prime shill mode today. So that's it, man. 217 top side, 200 bottom side. You got a little range going on. You can trade that, man. So just pointing those out to you. And on the 4-hour as well, you do have the dynamic reactor working its way up. If that gets over or around the 200 area, then you're talking about a lot of confluence in that area for support.
Nice. Shout out to Bedred. He said, I'm so late. Welcome, Bedred. We're glad to have you here, man. And then Marky Mark and the Funky Dutch said, this channel deserves so many more subscribers. Share this stream everywhere you go. I agree, man. Like and share this video. So we appreciate you guys. OC, we got time for a quick round for you for an altcoin, and then we're going to take a look at this Is Retail Back article before we have Marky Mark and the Funky Dutch drop a link in here. We're going to go raid Cohen's show over there and see what he's saying on the Elliott waves. But OC, what do you got for us, bro?
Absolutely. I would need a boom shakalaka if you can drop it for me here. Boom shakalaka. Yes, sir. There we go. Thank you for that. November the 13th, guys. Here we go. A minute. ADA TA. By the way, I mean, this is fantastic. The timestamps here are fantastic. Thank you so much, Alexandra. This just made my life easier. Look at that. ADA TA 4812, something around that. 4812. There we go. I was finishing explaining the next entry, and I gave it here, guys. Right? Remember, this is what I was expecting. But what was the main thing? Bounce out of the flip of the ribbon here and break to the 0 line. Right? What I was expecting was basically a breakthrough, retest, and off we go. Entering on the breakout, and then 0.5% and another 0.5% right as we come back down. What happened here? Well, we did not broke exactly there, but look at that. We broke just slightly bit after it, right? Exactly as we were expecting, as we were breaking through the 0 line. You see that? A 0 line breakout. There we go. I did enter at this position here. I was trying to enter here, but it was a little bit too fast moving. So when it just closed, it just pumped like crazy. That's why I decided to enter. I already have taken profits, as I mentioned at the previous stop. 50% out. Right now, my stop, it is at entry, and then I'm just writing it as high as it can go. Let me clear this up so you guys can see it. Let me clear this up, and then let's go for predictive resistance, support, and resistance. Right now, we are rejecting out of the number 5 resistance on the daily. That's pretty cool. I mean, we still need to be a little bit careful, because at this point, what I'm going to be looking at, it is a retest out of this box, because this is where the previous price action wasn't. But I need to have multi-candle coming back in order to start thinking that we're going to hold. Also, I want to enter as we have flip of the ribbon at support for a continuation. All right. The next thing I'm going to be using, it is my predictive ranges. Oh, but in the meantime, look at that beautiful trend line, right? Look at where we are expecting to bounce. Very nice confluence by chart point right there, and also what we had. So where are my predictive ranges? They're supposed to be here. I think I turned them off. Guys, give me just 1 second. Support and resistances, predictive ranges. There we go. Predictive ranges, I usually like to have them at 12 hours or a chart. Let's go to 12 hours. There we go. And that will be it. So let's just wait for it to load. There we go. We're bouncing out of this lining here. I would be expecting once again a retracement. And if we want to make it through this one, look at what's the next area of resistance. Somewhere around 0.8169. So hopefully we can make it. Make it is going back down, support area, all right? And then that movement to the upside. So other than that, turning it back to you guys. Oh, wait, really quick. Just make sure the flag. And almost perfect. There we go.
Awesome. Yeah, that's looking pretty decent there, OC. Guys, the article today, Bitcoin retail is finally back. These metrics point to an explosion of interest here in Bitcoin, guys. Taking a look real quick on this. This was on the thumbnail, that chart that I'm going to get ready to show here. And Bitcoin has witnessed a massive surge recently, coming closer to that $100,000 range. Getting down here to take a look at what they're talking about. Market intelligence platform Into the Block pointed out on an X post, Bitcoin new addresses have witnessed a sharp increase recently, suggesting a large amount of address creation. The new addresses can register an uptick when new investors join the network or when old ones who had sold earlier come back to the asset. Metric also goes up when existing users create multiple wallets for privacy. However, when a surge occurs at a scale like the recent one, the former is more likely to be the reason. Thus, the latest trend in the indicator could imply a high amount of fresh adoption for the cryptocurrency. This chart here is showing that right now it's at 442,000 new addresses coming in here to the place. And then looking down here at this one, this is the one I wanted to show because this shows retail investor demand 30-day change. And you can see it has absolutely moonshotted up. Now, keep in mind, previous times that we have been in here have occurred right before sharp pullback. You can see a peak right here. That created a sharp pullback right after. We had the peak here, and that was pretty much the top before the bear cycle. We did have a big peak down here at the bottom also. So, you know, there is a little inverse there. But here we had a peak. That was a drop. We had a peak. That was a drop. Just keep in mind, guys, we are seeing peaks right now in new wallets, but this is showing that retail is coming back to the marketplace, and it's pretty interesting to see that. It's just one of those metrics that, hey, this is telling me a story of retail coming back, but we're also seeing the story of typically when we see the big spike, retail shows up late to the show. So there you go. Could be a little pullback in the future for Bitcoin right now based on that metric alone. So that is all we have time for today, guys. Mark you Dutch, can you do me a favor? Drop a link to Cohen's live stream right now in the chat, guys. We're going to go raid him today. We'll send a message over to our good friends over at the at Randy Hipper's house, Frat Mom. But I want you guys to go raid Cohen's trading live stream. He's really good at doing Elliott waves, guys. Go check that link out as soon as we get done here. Throw those graduation caps in there. Let them know you came from Piper Academy, guys. We're going to go over there and say hey to him. But that is all we have time for today. TradeFly, OC, I appreciate both of you guys being here. If you got anything that you need to put out to the people, say it now.
Yeah, small shout out to Marky Mark and the Funky Dutch. He said, what did he say here? Only you can make yourself a millionaire, but Piper Academy, they hand you the tools. I love it. Thank you very much, man. That's much appreciated. Hey, so little thing, something in my heart right now. All right. So Alexandra G has been with us, I think, since day one, at least since I've been on the show, right? She is here every day helping us out and putting the links in here. Just she's grinding in the background, and it's for nothing more than a thank you. So one, drop some emojis for her, show her some love. We would appreciate that. But two, we don't make a lot on this channel. I'll be very transparent. I get about $200 a month. I want 50 of that to go to Alexandra G. We were going to pay you and whatever.
I've tried to give her
show
money,
you
bro.
choose.
She will
It's
fight
happening.
you on.
It's
she will
happening.
fight
Okay.
you.
She is relentless. She works in the background. She's on both of our shows. She's on the morning shows too, the pre-mornings. Like she's nonstop. So
Yeah,
let us
she's
know
amazing.
what crypto
Absolutely
it
amazing.
is, and what money we make. $50. Just let us know. I'm sending you that every month. Thank you. You're the best. We appreciate you. Much love. I'm out.
Alexander G, he's just trying to get you to do timestamps on his show too. Just don't worry about it.
No, she's doing real work. For
No,
the channel.
I know.
Like,
I
she
know.
really
I'm just
is.
messing with the TradeFly.
She's doing real things. Like
She is. She's
I
amazing.
appreciate her so much.
Yeah, she is
So,
amazing.
yeah.
All right, OC, quick one. Quick goodbye to the people, man.
Yeah.
We got to head.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for joining. A quick reminder to click that like button. I've been trying to get a GoFundMe for Alexandra also since a long time ago. Hopefully, Alexandra, you might accept that. I think that might be the way to go. So everybody can, put just a little bit of their thank you in there. And it's not about the money, right? It's about the actual feeling of thank you, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Also, a quick reminder to click that like button, because if you do, and you get beaten by a ton of mosquitoes every time you go out, once you click that like button, all of the swarm mosquitoes going to travel back to your partner. So make sure that you click that like button, and those mosquitoes will leave you alone.
Yeah, so give your spouse malaria. I love it. That's the message today. All right, guys, there's the link again. Let's go, Ray Cohen's trading. Guys, we're out of here. We'll catch you guys next Monday right here on Piper Academy on the Morning Market Report, guys. You guys trade safe, and as always, use a stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. TradeFly, get the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have, step fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. Sound off to get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.